In 2024, I graduated with a smile on my face, but underneath, I was angry. I was angry at the companies that rejected me. I was angry in general. I thought to myself, how could someone that secured 80K in scholarships and represented the school that I went to? I went and joined all these case competitions. I went to different states and explored different cities. How could someone like me graduate unemployed? I felt like I did everything right. I networked with different individuals. I met high value employers. I had interviews with multiple companies, and yet no one wanted to hire me. And I'm sure some of you also have the same feeling. Some of you have 4.0 GPAs, 3.5 GPAs. You guys have worked hard in school, and yet you guys ended up graduating unemployed. Some of you worked at a company for 5 or 10 years and you were laid off recently. Well, regardless of the situation, I want to tell you that you are seen, you are heard. I understand where you're coming from. I understand the pain, the frustration that you have. So I have 3 reasons why I was able to go from being unemployed, rejected, and just overall discouraged into getting into the actual field that I wanted to work into. And the third is going to be the most important, so make sure you stay and listen for the third reason. And if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe. So the first reason I was able to secure a job is because I walked into all of my interviews with confidence. When I used to talk to different employers, I would not just be interviewed. I wouldn't just tell them why I'm such a good fit. I would listen. I would listen to their problems. I would listen to what they have to deal with, and then I would respond to them versus what you most likely do. You go in there, you pitch yourself. Hey, my name is blah, 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 and I do X, Y, and Z, and I'm very good at this, that, and the other. But they might not want any of that. Instead, what if they just want something completely different that you didn't mention in your speech, right? In your explanation of why you're so good for the role. See, what the problem is that most people try and pitch themselves without understanding the problem. So imagine this, imagine you go to someone's house and you pitch them on why they should buy a new car, but they already have a car. But maybe their, daughter wanted a bicycle instead, and you have bicycles in your business, but you did not try and figure out what that person wanted. And so instead, you pitch them on something that they didn't need. Therefore, they think they don't need you. And that's the problem. You have to always take a step back and try and understand the problem they want to solve before you pitch. So when I used to interview for companies, what I would do is I would listen to their problems. I'd say, hey, I understand what this role is entailing and everything, but give me like an inside day-to-day scoop and tell me what are your guys' common struggles. And when you do it like that, what you get is more information. You get their hidden frustration. You get their motivations for why they're trying to hire for this role so urgently. So if you just take a step back and you listen intensely, then you will understand what they want. And once you know what they want, you can speak to what they want. I had an interview with the guy, and he told me, man, I just want someone loyal. I just want someone that is going to stay with the company and not just bail after 6 months of me hiring them. I said, well, listen, my loyalty got me unemployed. That's literally what my response was. I said, I would be one of the most loyal people you've known, right? And then he put me through the second round just because of that response. And that's what I want you guys to understand. In fact, I got an offer from the company. But that's what I want you guys to understand is that you have to understand what they want before you pitch. That is like lesson number one. And when you understand what they want, you can speak to how you can solve it confidently. Okay, so let's get into the second reason. The second reason why I was able to get a job after I graduated unemployed was because I was organized. I didn't just apply to any job. I didn't just apply to sales jobs over here, marketing jobs over here. No, I was very focused within finance. Everything I applied to were finance roles. Everyone I connected with were high value and high leverage targets. I didn't just sporadically apply online. Instead, what I did was I connected with my network's connections. So there was a guy, he's a partner at a PE firm. I connected with most of his contacts on LinkedIn and literally met a bunch of people that he knew. And because they knew him, they trusted me more because I wasn't just some random person. And I literally was able to get so many more calls from that method alone. On top of that, I tracked interactions. I tracked who I talked to, what we talked about, and when we should talk again. I tracked the jobs I applied to. I tracked when they responded, if they didn't respond, right? I tracked everything, and it helped me stay focused. It helped me not waste time. It helped me really make sure I was maximizing my entire time in the application process. I wasn't just applying, although I did apply to certain roles. I was mainly connecting with people through meetings and referrals. I can guarantee that you're not organized right now. I can guarantee you don't have an Excel spreadsheet tracking everything. You're just applying to whatever jobs you see. You're probably using Easy Apply. And then you're frustrated and you're wondering, why am I not getting the results I want? And it's because you're not organized. If you organize yourself, you will cut down the applications you apply to. You will apply to 5 to 10 to 20 highly desirable applications where you have connections with in the company, and that is super critical when it comes to applying to the right jobs and interviewing with the right companies. You do not want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste their time. Okay, and the third and most important reason I was able to secure a job after graduation was because of my network. I had used the heck out of my network to try and secure me a job, and it ended up working. I worked and interned at a PE firm, and they referred me to the company I'm currently working at now. And that is the main reason I got employment, right? Now, what I've seen from other people is the same exact story. I have clients. I had one client who literally reached out to her friend, and her friend got her a first round interview, and she ended up getting a job. I've seen it over and over and over again. I could give you 100 different examples of why this works, but it is the main reason. If you don't have a job right now and you're struggling to get employed, it's because you don't know enough people. And it's just really as simple as that. If you don't get out there and start networking with different individuals, going to events, going and getting on the phone with managing directors and high leverage people, you need to get active and make sure that you're having conversations with people that matter. I'm not talking about just recruiters and low level individuals, entry level analysts. I'm not talking about people like that. I am talking about CEOs, VPs, directors, anyone that has real power in a company that can decide your fate within that company. So if you need help doing any of these three things, make sure you reach out. We do one-on-one consultations here. You would love to have that conversation because I'm telling you, it will dramatically help you. I've helped so many people secure jobs, so I just understand what the process is. I helped myself secure a job as well. So if you need help, once again, make sure you reach out. You can schedule a call with me in my bio. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you stay in scope.